Hey everyone, Dave here. I thought I would do a just kind of quick little video, really unprepared. I hadn't really put much thought into this at all, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to talk about this band. I really feel they just need a little bit more attention in the world. They've been a favorite of mine for a number of years. I really don't recall how I came across them. The magic that is the internet, I suppose. But I wanted to talk about a band called Zen Guerrilla. They were kind of a grunge, psych, blues, noise, rock, metal amalgamation of a group. I've just always really liked it. It's like if you took Nirvana and made them maybe a little bluesy. I don't know. So I thought I would go through what I have of theirs, which I think it's just about everything. I don't think there's very much left that I could find of theirs. So I'll just kind of start in no particular order. I'm going to start with their singles first. As a record collector, I don't really tend to seek out singles. No particular reason, I just don't. This is one band I have done this with because I just needed to have everything. So let's begin here. So this first one, what I love about these first two singles is that they come in these boxes, these cardboard boxes that have certainly seen better days. But, when you're over 30 years old and you're made of cardboard, you don't last super duper long. Single, the Get It Daddy Longlegs single. Just great. Once again, this is going to be very repetitive describing these guys because they didn't really waver too much in their style. They pretty much stuck to that kind of noisy, grungy, punky, broken gospel blues, stew. And it's all really enjoyable, really great. And what I really like, though, is that they were clever with their packaging and albums, which I'll get to. So yeah, I mean, the single comes in this big old cardboard box. The single's inside of it. Same thing with the next single. A song called Vamp and a song called Dead Giveaway. 1991. I thought it was later than that. Yeah, I don't not 100% sure when these guys started. Maybe the late 80s. I think they're originally from New Jersey and kind of went out west, kind of got into the sort of Seattle scene a little bit. Some of their albums were actually released on Sub Pop, which, if you're familiar with grunge or, gosh, just about, seems like the Sub Pop label kind of covers all sorts of things. A lot of great stuff. I just really like the kind of weird artwork. They'll take a photo and do kind of like this Andy Warhol thing where they kind of manipulate it and change it around. I mean, it's a series of photos of a little kid being spanked. What is that? So then to kind of piggyback off of these singles that are in these cardboard boxes, their debut album came in a similar box. Much smaller. This is just a self-titled album. They do a cover of Jimi Hendrix's If 6 Was 9 off of his Axis Bold as Love album. And somewhere I have a poster of this image. This album actually came with a poster, which actually, well, there it is, all folded up in there. And this is a very interesting CD because as anyone will tell you with a CD, you have all your little tracks and you can skip to the next track, which is, you know, coming from the cassette tape world, that was just such a convenience. Well, these guys decided, maybe the record label decided, I don't know who decided, but it's just one long continuous track, like 40 minutes. So if you want to skip to track 4, well, you kind of have to hold your little button down there to skip to it and know at what minute mark it is. So what can you do? I would like to see maybe the album reissued with proper CD track listing. I would also like to see it released as an LP. It's really the only album of theirs that's not on LP. Continuing with more singles of theirs. Oh, this one's really cool. So on side B, they do a cover of Pink Floyd's Nile song from the More soundtrack. And they do a really great rendition. I have to mention Marcus Durant, who is the lead singer of this band. Absolutely one of my most favorite singers. Not so much in how well he can sing, but how he can use his voice as an instrument, even if it's muffled up against a microphone, or he has a megaphone that he's yelling into a microphone, which a lot of his singing sounds like that. But yeah, Marcus Durant, really great original singer in my opinion. I believe he was, a few years ago, maybe still is, in kind of like an MC5 cover band, or I don't think there's any living members of the MC5 left. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, he was in like a cover band singing for them, which that's a great choice for him. Yeah, I mean, MC5, maybe that'll be another video. I don't know. Another great band. But continuing with our singles here, Zen Guerrilla. Here's another cool one. So this one, they do a cover of Mob Rules by Black Sabbath, which is so awesome. And then on side 2, they do a cover of The Trooper by Iron Maiden. And they're so well done. Their version of Mob Rules, I might like a little bit more than Sabbath's original. Another single here. And this one's cool. I think it's the only single of theirs that is on colored vinyl. Look at that. And what was great about their singles is they wouldn't just release songs that were on albums. Most of these, especially the B-sides, sometimes the A side and the B side, are non-album tracks, which is probably why I had to get all of them. I would like to see, and if I could figure out a way to do it myself, just for my own personal enjoyment, but I would like to see a singles collection from these guys. Get on that. Anyone listening, how can we make this happen? This is an interesting single. I literally got it for just one side. This is a split single with Bob Log III, who I'm not super familiar with him. The few things I've heard of him, it was kind of this swampy, grungy blues rock revival thing. And this is really cool. Again, kind of doing that Andy Warhol-esque pop art kind of thing. I have no doubt I am showing these singles completely out of order. There's another one. I like this one. They do on side 2 a cover of Sam Cooke's Change Is Gonna Come, which I think is one of the greatest, most moving songs. Especially, I mean, and it's so, that song I think is always, I mean, it's just so timeless for any moment in time where you just feel like everything is crumbling around you. I know a change is going to come. Just a great message. And their version is done very, very well. Again, Zen Guerrilla needs a singles collection, an official release of those singles, because they have so many great, great songs that just never saw the light of day on a proper album, but just, pressing of however many few hundred of a single. There's another one of theirs. There's a fun song on there called Ham and Eggs, which is great. This one, wait, I think, is this one? Yeah. So here, on the Sub Pop label here, we do a cover of The Seeker. Cover of The Seeker. And, which you can see there. I don't know how well that'll pick up. Pete Townshend's credit on there. So good, so great. And this one is so unique. I have nothing else like this in my record collection. If you're interested in my record collection, let me know if you'd like me to do a video on it. I can go into greater depths. But of course, if anyone who's familiar with records, there's 78 RPM. Usually those are 10-inch. You have your 45 RPM, your singles, smaller records. Your 33 RPM, your standard LP. Well, this one is very interesting. And I believe this is a cover of a Little Richard song called Mama's Little Rocket. But it is on a 5-inch. What? A 5-inch? I've never heard of such a thing. I've never seen one. And to add more, I don't want to say insult to injury, but these guys are just so quirky. It's just one side. Just one side. So, those are their singles. Let's get on to the albums. And I do have these in both a CD and an LP format. So let's dive in. So once again, just to reiterate, as I'd shown the debut is really cool. It feels heavier than all their other albums, much noisier, a lot of feedback. I think this is really great. And yeah, their version of If 6 Was 9, I mean, it's right up their alley. Absolutely. So let's see. All right, let's get down to business. So I'm trying to remember the names of these things. So it was called, so it's 2 EPs that were put together. The Invisible Lifty Pad and the Gap-Toothed Clown. Each side is an EP. And I love the back cover of this. I don't know about you, but that's just good mid-90s art, If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. And there it is on CD. Really great. There's a song on here called Wee Wee Hours, which I don't think it's an actual cover of a Chuck Berry song, but it sounds like a Chuck Berry song. Great stuff. Tin Can is a song on here, very bluesy. Absolutely recommend it. Absolutely do. Coming up next, oh dear, got these slightly out of order, pardon me, is Trance States in Tongues. Really cool. Again, I love just the weirdness of their artwork, and it just makes no sense. And on this one, which there's the CD right there, they do a cover of a David Bowie song, Moon Age Daydream. And they do it very well. You wouldn't think, if you had listened to these guys and heard just how heavy and just grungy they are. You wouldn't think they'd be able to take a David Bowie song, and David Bowie, who has just such a great voice, you wouldn't think, oh, they can't do a David Bowie song. No, they can do a David Bowie song. They really can. The next one is called Positronic Ray Gun. Big old spider in this guy. There it is on CD. And yes, even though they're not a cover band, they do a cover of the Rolling Stones' Empty Heart. And it's so well done. This also has one of my favorite songs on it, just the studio version. They do a live version that will be on the next album, which is called Shadows on the Sun. This one, as far as all of their albums are concerned, this one to me feels the most kind of refined. Yeah, they're still doing the heavy thing, but then they'll kind of tone it down a little bit. There's a song on here called Evening Sun. It's kind of acousticy, and it's just, for me, it is just such a nostalgic, moving song. It makes me a little depressed. When I remember first hearing it, I was graduating college. It was like my last semester, and you have that kind of melancholy feeling, like, oh, all these great people I've met and the fun times we've had and just the whole college environment, and now you got to go off and join the real world. You're just feeling kind of down, and then a short time later, a friend of mine, a mutual friend, passed away at a really young age, and I heard that song again, and it just tore me up. It's one of those songs. I love it. I absolutely love it. But it's not easy to listen to. It's just not easy to listen to. But I love it, and I love songs like that. A good song is one that really gets you. So with regard to having that on LP, I also have a CD version of it, which I put in a little plastic case. Well, I'm not going to try to get it out because it's too hard to get out. It is literally just a promo copy of it. And I love that on the bottom there, it says not for sale. Surrender on demand. I just love that. I mean, it's just real plain, just a photo of them standing on the street. That's Marcus Durant right there. Great, great singer. Shadows on the Sun. And then this last one, really cool. It's not really a full-on LP, and it's not really a single. I guess it is a single. So side 2 is the single. Side 1 is some live tracks from the Shadows on the Sun album, and it's called Heavy Mellow. If you saw my Grateful Dead video, you'll know that, well, I'm a Grateful Dead fan. And if there are any Grateful Dead fans out there, this artwork might make you think of the Dead. But you tell me. Pardon the reflections there. But this skeleton guy playing this guitar. And he's got 3 eyes, an X-ray glasses, and 3D glasses. But then on the other side, lists all the tracks. So it's really cool. So they do, they call it a picture disc, and it's great. So that's really all I had. Zen Guerrilla, tell me what you think. If you've ever heard of them, what are your favorite songs? What are your favorite albums? How did you discover them? And thanks for hanging out.